so much.
All right, just the sound of his voice is going to make you feel better, I promise you. Just the happiness, the happiness in Malik Muhammad's voice is going to make you smile. It is contagious, my friend. How are you, Malik?
Wonderful, wonderful. You know I'm over here smiling.
I know. I know.
From lip
You know,
to lip.
hey, you know, every time I talk to you, Malik, I actually have a picture of you. So it's a still photo, but I'm picturing you leaning against some of those books talking to us down there, and I really appreciate you coming on. How's business at the bookstore?
It's been going wonderful, wonderful. Reception since we opened, the people are just excited. They consider books an essential business, and they are happy that we open. There's not a lot of bookstores that are, first of all, independent and open. So us just being one of those has been very rewarding, and the people has been very receptive. Doing great.
Malik has got the largest African-American and diversity collection of children's books in the country, among other things. Really an amazing selection. And he's called in over the last year or so, giving us different picks, suggestions that he's read and thought he could recommend. Now, this one's really interesting. Tell us about, it's called The Marathon Don't Stop, The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle, right?
Yes, by Rob Kenner. This is an exciting book. This book traces the life and work of an extraordinary artist and highlights not just the tragedy of Nipsey's death, but the powerful example of his life. The Marathon Don't Stop is the first in-depth biography of Nipsey Hussle. The hip-hop transformative legacy inspired a generation before his life was cut short in the neighborhood. And let me say this about this book here, because this book was very rewarding just reading, because it's just not about Nipsey's life, but it's about Los Angeles. It's rich with historical accounts of Los Angeles from the early 1900s to present. And it's rich, and it has hidden gems to teach you about, you know, all of the things that have happened in the last 100 years in Los Angeles and how that culminated into giving birth to a person like Nipsey, who was resilient and is like a Teflon Don in the sense that he overcame oppression, social injustice, changed his life through reading, and he became a legendary hip-hop artist, an entrepreneur, an activist, and he just impacted people's lives, and still to this day. And the book draws on all of these factors about Nipsey's life, because he's bigger than, life itself. The man has worked tirelessly. And one of his songs that he came out with, rhyme was dedication. This dude was dedicated to his vision. He got sidetracked from time to time. Even the book points that out. But he was always found a way back to his path and what he was born to do. And that's music, and that's activism, and that's, the brother was a beacon of light. And he helped transform, even in his death, he's transforming people's lives. I could bear witness this at Malik Books.
Yeah,
because you asked me.
No, but listen, I'm specifically thinking about, for those of you listening that know Los Angeles, this is Slauson and Crenshaw in South LA. I mean, that is, if you GPS what he's talking about, the narrative starts there. And Malik, and dedication was with Kendrick Lamar, right? So Malik,
absolutely.
Just before we let you go, what drove him? What gave him that spirit that you speak of?
That's the spirit that I believe that Nipsey brought forth and drove him, was the spirit of a marathon. The marathon continued, endurance and discipline. Because once he understood that in order to be successful, you must endure physically, mentally, and spiritually and emotionally. Then he understood, even though obstacles might get in my way and I might have pitfalls, I got to still perseverance. I got to find a way to win despite whatever opposition is in front of me. And he understood that, and that's why he named his whole iconic empire was named Marathon Continues, because he understood that that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to be successful, because he read a lot. He changed his life through books, and he changed his life through experience. And so that's what I believe would transform him, is his belief that, that he could make a difference, and that no matter what, He wanted to be an example of that. And so we have the Nipsey Hussle transformation table here at Malik's, where we carry all his reading books simply because these books are our bestsellers at Malik Books. He's inspired people to read that didn't want to read.
Yeah, that's an amazing. I mean, that's an amazing legacy too, isn't it? An amazing legacy. Oh, yeah. Malik, hey, listen, bro. I got to tell you, bro. You need a podcast on iHeartRadio. Okay, I'm going to talk to the podcast people by the time we get back with you. But I think that this would be such a great podcast.
Yeah,
talking about these inspiring books with your enthusiasm. Malik, we love you. Thank you for coming on. You can go to Malik's his bookstore, Baldwin Hills. You can look it up.
Fox Hills Mall.
And Fox Hills Mall?
Up a new, at West Culver City Mall, for all y'all that don't know. That's the old name, Fox Hills Mall.
He's expanding in the pandemic. All right, you take care, Malik. Much love.
You too. Thank you.
See you, buddy. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I really think, who's in charge of podcasts at iHeartRadio? Well, that'd be great. Recommending those books and having a conversation about them?
I think so, too.